uh, a presentation of Professor Das. May I should like it a privilege for me to mention the academic career, academic pursuit of of Professor Pramod Kumar Das. You know, Professor Pramod Kumar Das at present is the head of the department, Noyagod Autonomous College. Professor Das is having a brilliant academic record throughout. During his student career, he was a good debater, and he has been awarded many times from different organizations for his commendable leadership and creativity. Professor Das did his graduation from SS College Puri in 1991 and MA from Utkala University in 1993. Both in UG and PG level, he got gold medal. He got gold medal by securing first class first in both the examination. In MA class, he had proved his academic excellence in different academic activities like seminars and intellectual discussion with the professors, with the friends. After his post graduation, Sri Das joined in Surajmal Saha College, Puri, as a lecturer in logic and philosophy. There, he worked for 18 years. Sri Pramod Kumar Das, while he was teaching in Surajmal Saha College, he had also proved his academic excellence and creativity, both in teaching profession and co-curricular activities. And he was very lovable among the students and the staff members for his creativity and for his potentiality. He was very creative and potential both in and outside the classrooms. Sri Das joined in Noyagod Autonomous College in the year 2016 after being selected by Government of Odisha through SSB. He has been he has been there for more than 80 years at the head of the Department of Philosophy. Now he is working as a HOD and simultaneously he is also carrying out different co-curricular activities and he is also working in different forums. While executing his teaching profession, Sri Pramod Kumar Das is working as Secretary, Chinmay Mission, President at Chinmay Mission Puri, and Chairman, Wisdom Intellectual Forum, and now he is working as the convener, architect, and the host of Philosophy Family. And whatever we see for the last 1 month is his dream, and every moment he wants to carry out to execute his dream into action. And all the webinars have been programmed by him, thought by him, and executed by him. So we have no words to appreciate his scholarly acumen and his potentiality, his creativity in executing every program successful. So now he the speaker in the second session to speak on the topic pre-established harmony at the conception of Leibniz philosophy. May I now request and welcome Professor Pramod Kumar Das, our friend, our architect, our convener of philosophy family, to start his speech on pre-established harmony so far as the philosophy of Leibniz is concerned. Welcome to Professor Pramod Kumar Das.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, very much audible.
Respected Dr. Kailash Chandra Maharana, sir. Respected Dr. K.M. Narayana Rao, sir. my dear younger brother Devashish Sarangi, and very esteemed participants. Actually, this topic was assigned to Dr. Amrita Haldar. She could not speak because she suddenly have some has some problems. Therefore, she intimated me to speak on this topic. Had she talked, she would have talked better than me. I don't know whether I can give justice to this topic in comparison with Dr. Haldar. Yesterday she told me, and I decided I shall speak. But I requested her to attend the webinar in spite of her problems, and I hope she is attending. When we are discussing Descartes last before 2, 3 or 4 days, I had said that Descartes was a great mathematician, he was a great scientist, and he had applied mathematics in order to establish a beautiful method to start philosophical thinking, to rationalize. And Descartes opened the door of rational thinking by using mathematics. Leibniz also did the same, but there is a difference. Both Descartes and Leibniz followed mathematics, but there is a difference. To Descartes, what is truth? Truth is that which is self-evident, and truth is necessary. Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I clearly audible?
More loudly, sir.
Acha, now am I audible? Hello.
Hello, the voice is
Hello.
fluctuating. Hello, the voice is fluctuating.
Hello.
Yes,
Now
audible,
am I
sir.
audible?
Audible.
Audible,
Yes,
audible, audible,
audible,
audible, but
audible.
sometimes your voice is fluctuating.
Okay, I am opening the door. সেটা বন্ধ করুন। So by applying mathematics, Descartes wanted to establish the self-evident truths. He believed that the truths should be like mathematical truths. That was not the position of Leibniz. Leibniz also followed mathematics, but he followed the other aspects of mathematics, like the law of continuity. This is also a mathematical principle. But according to Leibniz, truths should not be necessary. Truth is contingent.
Sir, you are
Hello.
not audible. How audible? How audible?
Hello. Okay.
Sir, you are very audible. Actually, K.O.M. Narayan Rao sir's mic has, his connectivity has some problem. You are very audible actually. Sir, take network problem.
Okay. So far as monadology is concerned, network should reach everywhere. If Rao sir is out of network, it is against the philosophy of Leibniz. Okay, if I am okay, then Rao sir should be ignored. Okay. Anyway.
Nicely stated, sir.
Okay. Now, the philosophy of Leibniz appears to be very easy, but it is very difficult to understand. Please listen carefully. I shall not speak more. I shall speak very important points which I need to speak today. And I shall also ask Dr. Rao, there is a principle of a continuity in mathematics. But when we are continuing something, we should be very much practical what to continue and what not. If we are continuing for the sake of continuing, then that is not the real continuity. There are many things that we have to learn from mathematics. Anyway, Descartes said that truth is self-evident. Mathematical truth. Truth is universal. Truth is necessary. Leibniz said it is analytical. An analytical statement speak nothing. Okay. Leibniz after Aristotle, if we shall take any name as a genius, as a brilliant philosopher in the history of philosophy, the basis,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have muted you.
you please mute all.
Yeah, I have muted.
You please mute all except me,
Yeah.
because I am speaking. Okay. So Leibniz took other aspects of mathematics, that is the principle of continuity. What is continuity in mathematics? you see, in mathematics, we are very much familiar with a straight line. And what we see in a straight line, there is continuity of points. All the points continuously connect to each other so that it becomes a straight line. If there is a slightest gap between a straight line, then that will become two straight lines, not one straight line. Similarly, in a triangle, there is a continuity of, there is a connectivity of three straight lines. If there is a slightest gap between straight lines, then that is not a triangle. From this notion, Leibniz became inspired to explain the world. What is the purpose of philosophy? The purpose of a philosophy, both East and West, all philosophers intend to explain the world. What is the world? How it is created? Who created this world? Why such questions come to the human mind? Because world exists independent of mind. Human mind hardly try to understand the mystery of the world. Human mind does not create the world. Human mind can at least try to understand the world rationally. That is the job of a philosopher, that I shall understand the world rationally. Therefore, some philosophers, they took the help of mathematics and geometry. So, Descartes' statement that the truth is self-evident, necessary, universal, this is not accepted. This is not accepted by Leibniz. Similarly, come to Spinoza. In Spinoza, Spinoza also follows geometry. Spinoza started from substance, then finally reached with modes through attributes. But that was one-way traffic. Spinoza could not return from modes to substance. Substance is one, that is the ultimate reality, and modes are not as real as the substance. Modes are modifications of the attributes. So the status of the substance and the status of the modes are different. Therefore, the world is explained by substance as a principle, as a substantial principle. In the same way, the modes are not explained by, the world is not explained by modes substantially. Again, from substance, we can go forward to modes, but from modes, we cannot go backward to substance. This was the position of Spinoza. Leibniz changed this principle. Now comes the importance of Leibniz, that what did Leibniz do so that we shall say that Leibniz was different from Descartes and Spinoza. You see, these three philosophers are rationalists. These three philosophers have followed mathematics and geometry, or let us say mathematics. But they follow mathematics, but their approaches are different. What is the position of Leibniz? Leibniz wanted to establish a unique method, a unique principle, that I shall speak of something which at its uppermost perfection can explain the world, and at its lowest stance, it can also explain the world. In other words, the highest principle can explain the world, and the lowest principle can explain the world. Exactly this is said in Advaita Vedanta. Anu and Bhuma. Okay. Leibniz said, I shall speak of something, I shall speak of a unique principle. If you go to the smallest unity, it can explain the whole. If you go to the biggest unity, it can explain the world. It was not the position of Spinoza. In Spinoza, substance was one. I told that. So, you see, when we shall go to the high point, suppose we are, we shall go, we shall see something from sky, then all differences disappear. Differences appear when we are in the world. Differences disappear when we go to the higher level. Thesis and antithesis both disappear when we look both thesis and antithesis from the point of synthesis. When we travel by flight, what we see from the sky, and all buildings are same, everything. If we still go high, then we shall see shunya, nothing. All differences have disappeared. Similarly, if we shall come down, and if we shall go to the smallest unity, then also we can explain the world. So there is no problem in asserting plurality. Leibniz said, realities are many. Accept that realities are many. We shall see what is the problem. Let us accept realities are many. So, what does it mean? Many realities means it is pluralities. It is a philosophy of pluralism. So, from the philosophy of pluralism, we cannot explain the world so satisfactorily. This was rejected by Leibniz. Leibniz said, I shall speak of pluralism. I shall speak of pluralism, but each unity of that pluralism shall explain the entire universe. Come to Jainism. In Jainism also, the same thing has been said, that there are infinite realities, and each reality has infinite aspects. Similarly, Leibniz says there are infinite monad is a name. Monad is a name. Brahman is a name. Atman is a name. God is a name. These are names. Try to understand the principle. We shall discuss the principle. There are many realities, many aspects of realities, but you take any one reality, any spark of the reality, that will speak the volumes of the whole reality, that will mirror the whole reality. So the whole reality can be explained by the smallest unit of reality as well as the highest unit of reality. This is the beauty of Leibniz philosophy. He established this metaphysical idealism. All German philosophers are idealists. This metaphysical idealism was established by Leibniz from mathematics. That is the principle of continuity, number one. Number two, what is the contribution of Leibniz to the mankind? Leibniz very beautifully explained the harmony. Harmony means a relation. A relation between what? A relation between two compatible things is understood. Two compatible things are related, it is understood. If husband and wife are compatible to each other, they can live for long. If they are not compatible, their relation will be disturbed and they will go for divorce. That means whenever there is a relation, this relation is possible by between two compatible things, that both of them should be compatible. But in Leibniz, he said, my harmony is so unique that I shall speak of relation, I shall speak of harmony even between two contradictory things. Leibniz, Descartes' mind-body relation interactionism is about mind-body relation. Spinoza's parallelism is about mind-body relation. But Leibniz pre-established harmony is not only about mind and body. Leibniz speaks of the relation between any two things or all things. Any two things or all things. This is the credit of Leibniz. Leibniz says, I shall speak of independence, that everything is independent to the other, the other. But they are related. There is a beautiful harmony between them. Then he will say how there is a harmony between two independent or even contradictory entities. We shall discuss. Again, what he said? He said, this harmony is not only between the harmony of mind and body. This is the harmony about each and every aspect of human life, harmony in society, harmony in human relation, harmony between God and man, harmony between anything. Beautiful harmony is there. So, in my introductory part, I just told that how Leibniz is different from other rationalist philosophers. In the last class, I had said that I love Descartes, but my love is not dogmatic. Whenever I love someone, I love impartially and I see the mistakes. What Descartes committed, how Descartes committed a mistake. Descartes was a bachelor. He was he had no actually he was detached from society. So for him, the absolute universal self-evident truth is very natural. But Leibniz is very much humanistic. Leibniz loves the world. Leibniz loves human beings. Leibniz um, loves the creation. Leibniz is a believer in God. So he says that my philosophy is meant for the cosmos. It's meant for the humanity. With that intention, he tuned his rationalism to establish to establish a new method that everything is explained by everything. If everything is explained by one thing, that is Spinoza. If everything is explained by everything, you see, suppose there is a WhatsApp group. If there is one admin and others are not admin, suppose in philosophy family, I am the admin, so others cannot include any member here. If any member will be included, I shall include. Here I am Spinoza. If I shall give the option and I shall make every member as admin, then I am Leibniz. Every man, that is in Telegram. Telegram is Leibniz. WhatsApp, Spinoza. In Telegram, anybody can enter. Anybody can add anybody. So anybody means the smallest, the individualist. Second, there is another principle, that is the principle of individuality. Individuality means the same thing I told, that Leibniz established such a principle that the individual entity can explain the whole world, That means every individual entity has substantial identity, has a substantial form. This he has taken from Aristotle's form. Every individual has a substantial form. Every individual is a form. Substantial form. Suppose we shall put it in Spinozistic philosophy. Every mode is a substantial form. If I shall say that, this will go against Spinoza. How is it possible? How can a mode will become a substantial form, but this is possible in Leibniz. Leibniz says every individual entity has a substantial form which can mirror the entire universe. But each monad, each entity, monad means entity. Monad is a name. Then there are Rama, Hari, Gopal. Suppose it is not monad, it might have told in another, it might have given in other name. That entity can reflect the entire world, that individual entity. Now come to Vaisesika. In the Vaisesika system, we have discussed Vishesha, that is also particular. We have discussed there Samanya and Vishesha. There we have studied, we know that every particular is real. But that is not the position of Leibniz. Leibniz is not speaking of that Vishesha of Vaisesika. In Vaisesika system, Vishesha is simply a category of reality, not the whole reality. But here the Vishesha, here the individuality is self-sufficient, is full, it's all inclusive. The last point of reality is all inclusive, all inclusive. That is the difference between Vaisesika Vishesha and Leibniz individuality. Third, there is a harmony between individuals. And fourth, God has made such harmony. In the last session, just before Madam was speaking about monadology, so I shall not go to that. My point is that what is exactly the contribution of Leibniz? Why Leibniz is famous? Why Leibniz is called a true rationalist, or a rationalist in the true sense of the term, about extreme rationalist in an extreme sense? And Leibniz philosophy is the philosophy of a compromise. Leibniz has compromised between mechanism and spiritualism. To Leibniz, spiritualism does not mean that it is the avoidance of a mechanism. Spiritualism is that which should include everything. If anything is excluded from the explanation of the world, that is never a spiritual explanation. Therefore, Leibniz said that I shall take such a principle which can be the fundamental principle of the explanation of everything, that cannot be extension, that cannot be body, that can only be consciousness. Even not consciousness, he is speaking of force. What is force? No, that is a spiritual force. Where from Leibniz learned this? Leibniz learned this from experience. Leibniz experienced, Leibniz observed, Leibniz noticed that there is motion in everything. Whatever appears to be static, whatever appears to be static, whatever appears to be extended, whatever appears to be solid, whatever appears to be dormant, actually there is a dynamic force within it. The body, the stone, it reacts. The stone, that is a reaction in stone. Similarly, everything has a force. So Leibniz says that force, the spiritual force or the conscious force, is the fundamental principle by which we can explain everything, not the vice versa. If we shall take matter as the principle, matter cannot explain force. Extension cannot explain force. Why extension is not real? Because that is real which can explain everything. Extension cannot explain everything. Extension can be explained by force, because force is the very fundamental principle which is available in everything, which may be hidden, which may not be captured by us. Then what are the functions of that force? Not two. There are two functions of that force. One is that it can perceive. The force can perceive. Perceive means the force can know. The force can be aware. The force can be conscious. It is a conscious principle. And the second one is, everything has an appetite to grow, to glow, to reach, to excel, to expand, to reach to the whole. Okay, everything has an appetition. The appetition means appetite. Appetition means everything has an inner appetite to grow. This is observed by Leibniz. Leibniz has observed this. Therefore, in the last class I had told, it may be rationalist or empiricist. Both are engaged in philosophical thinking on the basis of experience. Experience teaches us. So a philosopher not only thinks and says and only describes his thought, a philosopher learns from the silent observation, the experience of his life. Leibniz experiences, yes, what I see, only I see the force. There is motion in everything. In Hospers, I remember, is it really solid? No. It is the dancing of electron, protons, and neutrons. This is a state of perception where we can say that this appears to be solid. The table is not really solid. The table is really dynamic. The table is the only dancing of electrons, protons, and neutrons. This is the vision of Leibniz. Second, Leibniz said there is continuity everything. You see, what appears, we fail to see the continuity in many things. Suppose in human relations, suppose in human relation also, you see, there is continuity. Suppose there is a break, or there is a suppose you love someone, so you know someone, and you are very much acquainted with someone, and there is a break of 20 years or 25 years or 30 years. Then after 30 years, if you get united, what does it mean? Do you think that there was a discontinuity? No. The continuity is there, but it was not. It was a metaphysical continuity which was not physically experienced to you. So the continuity may not be experienced because human mind is so finite. The human mind is so limited. We cannot see the continuity, but there is continuity in everything. This is the causal explanation. Come to Sankhya, Satkaryavada. Satkaryavada says that the effect pre-exists in its cause. The effect, I shall request Dr. Rao and Dr. Maharana, let me speak till I conclude. May not be, we may not entertain question and answer session. Let me speak till I end my talk. Question answer is not necessary. Many vague questions are asked. This is my experience in the webinar, and many vague questions are entertained. It is not necessary. Come, please try to understand it. What I am trying to explain. Satkaryavada, in Satkaryavada, we see that the relation between effect and cause. The effect is already pre-exists in its cause. So the effect is already present in the cause. Is it not mathematical? Is it not logical? In deductive logic, what we see, the conclusion follows from the premises logically, because the conclusion is already there in the premises. If the conclusion is not there in the premises, we cannot get the conclusion. From all men are mortal, Ram is a man, we can only say that Ram is mortal. Similarly, according to Satkaryavada, not according to Satkaryavada, this is the fact. We may call it Satkaryavada. This is the fact of causation, that the effect pre-exists in its cause. From the material cause, we can get that material effect, not the other, not anything. This is a mathematical presupposition. Leibniz says the continuity from the cause to the effect, from the cause to the effect, that is, Leibniz says, there is a continuity from cause to effect. Actually, there are two effects. This is an effect and this is an effect. In our experience, we see that this effect comes after this effect, therefore this is cause and this is effect. Leibniz says, any change is not an abrupt change, it's not an accidental change. It is causally related, it is mathematically related, it is necessarily related, and thus that there is a continuity between the causal state and the causal state and the effect state. Suppose there is a seed, and after few years we see a tree. So not that there is a break between, there is an interval between seed and a tree. There is a continuity between the seed state and the tree state. And that continuity is so minute, and it is so flow, it is so continuous, and it is so harmonious. Not only continuous, it is so harmonious that our human mind cannot assess it. And what is the weakness of human mind? What we cannot assess, we say it is unknown and unknowable, and therefore does not exist. Leibniz says, in mathematics, is a very complex mathematical equation can be explained by very simplest way. The equation appears to be very complex, but each step is so logically connected. There is a connectivity in also symbolic logic. in simple logic, when we do derivation, when we do CNF, what we see? Equal to means this is equal to this, this is equal to this, this is equal to this, this is equal to, so this is continuity. Similarly, in human relation, there is a continuity. Suppose uh, um, suppose I am very stable in my family. My family is running very happily. Everything is okay in my family. We are very much happy. But suppose suddenly the situation changed. Suppose suddenly someone faced an accident. Suppose someone was hospitalized. So the situation changed. When the situation changed, this is not an abrupt change. The happy state of life and the saddest state of life, there is a continuity. If we go beyond that, previously I had told, if we go beyond the higher state, you will see that the happy state and the saddest state, and after few years, again happy state, again saddest state, all are in a continuous state. This state and this state and this state are all continuous. This is the philosophy of life. Therefore, one should not be extremely happy when there is real happiness. So one should not be extremely disturbed when there is disturbance, because both thesis and antithesis will disappear if you will go to the state of a monado, with the state of a higher state. Both are illusions. This state and that state. My life became meaningless because something happened to me wrong. My life is very meaningful because something no. There is a continuity. And Buddha also said that. Buddha said, everything is momentary, but everything is momentary. But there is a continuity. This being that arises, this being that arises, this being Pratitya Samutpada, this being that arises, this being that arises, this being that arises, this being that arises. But Buddha's position is not Leibniz's position, because Buddha did not accept the pre-established harmony, or Buddha did not accept that there is God who has made such connectivity. Leibniz did that. Therefore, Leibniz is speaking up the mechanism, at the same time he is speaking up spiritualism. Why? Leibniz says that we are not concerned, we are not interested with the necessary truth. Necessary truth is analytic by nature. We are concerned with the contingent truth. There are two types of truth, necessary truth and contingent truth. Contingent truth is based upon moral necessity. Contingent truth is based upon moral necessity. Necessary truth is based upon the logical necessity. This is moral necessity. Leibniz speaks of morality. Leibniz speaks of contingent aspect of a human life, because human mind is limited. We live in a contingent world. Here comes morality. So Leibniz pre-established harmony is not only the relation of mind and body. We shall go to that, how mind and body are related. So watch example that these things are very famous. If we will go book and you shall get all these things. But what I am saying, I am discussing what I am saying, that is also in a book, but generally we do not discuss that. We discuss only the watches are there, and watches are so designed that whenever this watch gives a correct time, that watch gives correct time. Therefore, in this way, everything in the world is established by God. But why? Contingent truth is based upon sufficient reason. Sufficient reason. Sufficient reason means human mind cannot accommodate total reason. Human mind can accommodate and should accommodate sufficient reason. Sufficient reason means what? According to your levels of consciousness, according to your education, according to your culture, you will have the capacity of reasoning. And you should exercise the best reason, that is called sufficient reason, but you can never access to the total reason. Therefore, God comes. Therefore, God comes. Because whatever I do, I exercise the best of my reason, but I have not the totality of the reason. Therefore, I, being a monarch, though each monarch can mirror the entire world, it is theory. But when we shall come to the practice, when a human being shall rationalize it or philosophize it, that human mind is tuned with the best reason, that is a sufficient reason, but it is not the fullness of reason. God is the symbol of a fullness of reason. Therefore, the cosmic harmony cannot be understood by my best reason. I always find myself with contingent truths. For me, there are different types of monarchs, but for God, there are not different types of monarchs, because God is the full, Purna. So therefore it is said that God has chosen the best possible world for us. What does it mean? Now, because God is the totality of origin. Because God is the totality of origin, God can create infinite possibilities of creation. And out of that infinite possibilities, God has chosen the best possible world for us, where we live in. In our practical life also, you see how much we are limited. We admire, we appreciate the beautiful body of a human being. What a beautiful body. We admire. But when that beautiful body is in ICU, is in the operation theater, that beautiful body is treated as an object, as a matter. So this is our limitation. The body that we say that this is, we assess it as a very beautiful body. We treat it as in that way, but the scenario becomes changed when we see the same body in the operation theater, when it is in the coma state. So what is the status of that body and this body? Okay, so this is contingency. That everything, there is a change. And Leibnitz says this change is meaningful. This is not a meaningless change. This is a meaningful change. Therefore, it is spiritual. Therefore, it is rational. It is a rational change. Rational change means there is a connectivity, there is a continuity, there is a continuity. No point of existence is disconnected from its past and future. So past, future, and present are one. One means that is connected. That is harmony. Leibniz very beautifully explained this harmony in our social life, in our in the physical world, in our body, in our mind, in the relation between body and mind, in the relation between Bhakta and Bhagavan. Okay.
Okay, it's time to conclude. No, sir, it's time to conclude, sir. It's
Okay.
time to conclude. Huh?
Another 5 minutes, can I speak?
Yes, you can. Yes, okay, conclude within 5 minutes.
So now come to the topic, pre-established harmony. That is the harmony between mind and body. Mind and body are so tuned, the relation between mind and body are established, pre-established by God. It is compared with the watch, that different watches give the same time. And there are three theories: interactionism, occasionalism, and pre-established harmony. And these things we already know. Therefore, I don't want to repeat it. The Leibniz is focusing on pre-established harmony. Pre-established harmony means body and mind, their connections are just like unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Though they appear different, though mind and body appear to be different, but they are not really different in the cosmic stance. Whatever happens to body, exactly that happens in the mind. This relation is pre-established by God. Here, Leibniz introduced God because God is infinite and man is finite. Man cannot access to the harmony, the cosmic harmony. Man cannot access the cosmic harmony. So in order to explain cosmic harmony, God is introduced in Leibniz. Okay, I am concluding here. Then the question and answers come, then we shall discuss other things. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Pramod Kumar Das. Very brilliant, very brilliant presentation. And you have very intelligibly clarified all the concepts of the philosophy of Leibniz. And while discussing the pre-established harmony, you have also clarified the entire theme of monadology and the philosophy of Leibniz. Now, this theme is open for discussion and clarification. May I request Dr. K. Omnaran Rao sir for interacting the session, for facilitating the interactive session. Over to Dr. Rao. Over to Dr. Rao.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mahana sir. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Okay, I see a network problem today. I definitely know Pramod sir's lecture would have been very nice, but I could listen a part of it because of the network problem. Okay, so thank you, Professor Rao. We have interacted many times. Okay, so definitely your lecture would be a crystal clear one. I feel unlucky for not listening to the entire speech by you. But anyway, there are certain questions that I see in the box. Okay, is one from Nand Ghosh. He says, contradiction in the world. Would you see harmony in those contradictions also?
Then even
The question again.
Sir,
Oh,
actually,
that,
now, sir, actually,
okay.
your voice is fluctuating. It is not clearly audible.
Okay, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, you do one thing. You give.
Okay,
I request.
okay.
I request Debasis.
Hello.
I request Debasis. Huh. Hello. Am I audible now? Am I
Hello.
audible? Huh.
I-
There is a network problem here.
Acha, Debasis
I
has
see a
has to take the
Yes, sir.
responsibility
Yes, sir.
of
Okay, sir.
interacting the session.
Okay, Debasis, you take the responsibility.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. The first question is from Nanda Ghosh. He wants to know how can contradiction would lead to harmony? Hello, Pramod sir. Hello. Yes. He wants to know how can contradiction would lead to harmony?
Yes. Contradiction is an appearance. When we say it is contradictory, I have told you that contradictions are appearance. If we shall go to the higher level, then the differences will disappear. Okay. What you say contradictory, they appear to be contradictory, but a philosopher like Leibnitz can see the harmony in between them. That I gave the example that my happy state and the saddest state, they appear to be contradictory, but there is a continuity, there is a harmony between them. So contradiction is an appearance.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Then next question is from Ratnakar Gajendra, sir. He wants to know pre-established harmony is only an assumption to explain order in the world, whether he is successful in doing so.
May not be. A philosopher may not be successful. A philosopher, suppose Descartes is not successful, who will certify that, whether Descartes is successful or not? Descartes did his work, Spinoza did his work, Leibniz did his work. Who will certify that Leibniz is successful or not? And philosophy does not end anywhere. This is the vision of Leibniz. Leibniz said this. Whether it is satisfactory or not satisfactory, that is a separate thing. We people are engaged in that type of discussion, whether Descartes is satisfactory or Leibniz is satisfactory. This is the view of Leibniz. We may agree, we may not agree.
Then again a question from Nanda Ghosh. He wants to know what is moral necessity.
What is?
What is moral necessity?
Moral necessity is there because we are contingent. We are living in a contingent world, and we admit that there are different types of monarchs. There are different levels of consciousness. So by morality, we can excel our level of consciousness. We can get transformed from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness by understanding the reality and by living a moral life. Unless and until you live a moral life, you cannot be mature in understanding of life and the world around you. Therefore, morality is necessary.
Thank you very much, sir. I think other question we can discuss in the group also. There are a few questions remain there, but I think we should conclude now.
Why?
I think it's time. It means it's 8:20, going to about 8:20. That's why.
Acha Debasisi.
Yes, sir.
तुमे काली राव सारंगर तो कोन 8:45 पर्यंत चलेइलो
तो चलना जे माने लेट हे तो
देवाशीष जाला
ना ना तमे केते छियाणिया हेगलनी मु देखुची अच्छा हाउ सुनो हेलो
Yes,
actually
sir.
I am not actually I have also other works. I am busy.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, if any important question ask, otherwise stop it.
No, not such important question. I think there it can be solutionable. Means if they will listen your lecture carefully, then you have already told those things.
This is good boy. This is like a good boy. You said like you should say like this. You say time is over. Time is over. Yesterday you continued for till 9 p.m.
Sorry, sir.
Acha, okay. Well, I joked. I made a joke. Okay. Thank you. Debasis, I love you.
Okay, Devasis,
Thank
propose
you.
a vote of thanks then. Okay,
Okay.
Devasis, then propose a vote of thanks.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your lucid presentation on Leibniz pre-established harmony. I want to thanks from core of my hearts. Really, you made all these things possible to interact with each other in this time of pandemic. So my heartfelt thanks to you. Thanks to the coordinator of this session, Kailash Maharana sir, and also K.M. Narayan Rao sir, those madam, and also those who have participated in this webinar and have asked the valuable question. Thank you all. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.
And I thank you. I thank you, and I love you for many reasons. Because you are a silent worker. You are monitoring the morning session with Swamiji, and you are recording all the events, and you are telecasting that in YouTube. And I thank Dr. Maharana for coordinating all the webinars, and I thank Dr. Rao for moderating and for delivering speeches. And he is a man like Arjuna, that whenever he comes to the battlefield, he becomes a very sincere fighter. I love you, I respect you, Dr. Rao, and I thank all the participants for being with us and for being a part of this family. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Devasis, sir. Actually, please post all the questions which hello. Please put all the questions for
Yes, sir.
clarification. Okay. Okay. Thanks so much. Now we have to conclude the meeting.